I want to talk about Harry Potter and the Golden Snitch. The game is called Quidditch, I believe. And in the Harry Potter franchise, in one of the sequels, Harry Potter catches the Golden Snitch. So the idea of catching the Golden Snitch is worth 150 points. What makes this game, the description and the mythology behind it, the mythos behind it so interesting is that it uncovers the occult recruiting process that's taking place in the world of AI. So the Golden Snitch, first of all, can only be handled by what is called a seeker. So this gives you an insight to how golden children are being sought after. Because at this point, the Messiah seed mythos is pretty much, it didn't fade out, but it lost its effectiveness to the point where anybody who dies tragically can be looked at as a martyr. And so with this kind of familiarity, it just became very watered down. So now you have a new process of not a person who is leading a revolution or leading a charge or some kind of radical group, but the occult world now is seeking for the seeker. Because the Golden Snitch, you understand, the idea of a snitch is not just somebody who tells on someone. It's not just a see something, say something type of principle. That's not what snitching is. That's just telling on somebody. Snitch implies complicity in the crime. So you can't be a snitch unless the same dirt is on you. You have to have your hands in it. You have to have your feet in it. In order to be a snitch, you have to be also doing the crime. So the Golden Snitch gives you this existential crime of omniscience to a degree. Having full revelation. It's a golden snitch because this thing is holding the truth. Is representing the highest form of score in the game, Quidditch, which you can also call the game of life, which is played by the witches, two different forms of witches. You have the Slytherin house and the Gryffindor house, the Gryffindor house. The Griffin is the bird. The Slytherin is the snake. Harry Potter caught the Golden Snitch to win the game for the Slytherin house. What this tells you is that the Brotherhood of the Snake originally won as the Seekers. They were the Seekers who put their hands on the Golden Snitch last. And one of the rules in the Harry Potter franchise was that you couldn't handle the Golden Snitch without gloves because whoever the Seeker was, their signature and flesh memories would be encapsulated in this Golden Snitch, which was basically a gold walnut-sized ball. And the walnut is pertaining to the pineal gland again, letting you know that this was a psyop, one big psyop. The whole Harry Potter franchise is a psychological operation. And if you can see through the lines and if you're interdimensional, you can see how we are being recruited by the occult world, because we're in an occult age. Believe it or not, we're in an age of occultism. This is the new order of the day, whereas we left the religious, theocratic, dogmatic world of the past that was under a right hand path, white magic, orchestrated reality. Now we're under the housing of a brand new construct that is black, that is triple dark. Not darkness meaning evil, darkness meaning mystery and intrigue. The golden snitch is a stone of telepathy, and it points to the idea of psychometry, being able to touch an object and access memories and events and scenes and people just through physical touch of an object. This is known as psychometry. Psychometry takes place with the golden snitch if touched with the bare hand. So the idea of piercing into all truth, is an instrument that really takes residence in the mind as the third eye. And this thing is not to be touched with human hands, meaning it's not an outwardly 3D concept. You can't handle this thing but with gloves, and it's only for what? A seeker. Golden snitches have to be found. They fly autonomously, completely on their own governance. So they have to be found and then caught. So Harry Potter, being the Jupiterian wizard with the lightning bolt on his head, he catches the golden snitch. He catches the one who is complicit in the masking of Akash. He captures this thing. The golden snitch comes from a bird called the golden snidget. And as time went on, they had to adapt into using a ball, because originally this was a magical bird that was just being hunted down by seekers of the past, the real physical bird. According to the mythos, you understand, this bird was hunted down. So what do you have? You have a hunting down, extermination, endangering, and extinction of the real magical birds in replace for magical ball with wings, resembling a bird, going from true machination to machinery, going from technique to technology. This just is what it is. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but what I'm saying is there's a mirror right there letting you know exactly what's what. The golden snitch was once a bird, and it was being hunted down. So what the authentic life was, the authentic life force that was not a snitch at the time, but a snidget. It was a magical bird. It was a magical flying spirit. It was a magical energy, a magical stream of thought forms. Very organic, very authentic. And it got hunted off for the sake of sport between two occult forces playing a game. It is tied into witchcraft just by lieu of the fact that they were riding around on brooms. This is air lacrosse, is how the game is simulated. Because this is what the two teams are doing. They're flying around and, they're playing like a sort of lacrosse game. So the golden snitch is something extra that takes place in the game. The whole game is not about the golden snitch, but the golden snitch gives you, again, the highest score in the game. And the game actually does end once a seeker from either house catches the golden snitch. That's what you call the game breaker. That's the game ender. That's game time. You win if you catch the golden snitch. So it's all about catching, accessing Akash, being an open channeler, so that you always have your hands on the highest scoring piece in this game, where you're being recruited between two houses, between the Griffins and the Snakes, between Slytherin and Gryffindor. We are being recruited. There is no more quote unquote light side. The only thing that you'll see now on the light side is ceremony and show. That's all that's left, because the power of what is called the Godhead has transitioned back, because this is a scale, like a seesaw, an hourglass type of thing that gets tipped over. There's only, like, for instance, you got to have midnight just like you got to have high noon. Well, this is the midnight time of human history. So we got to catch this golden snitch, this golden thread, this magical bird that exists where? In our Golgotha, which is our skull. It's another form of the pineal, another form of the pine cone. This game is Quidditch in the Harry Potter franchise, and it's telling you what's going on. See, the whole governing of society based on the West, based on the West, but I'm going to include other parts of the world in a second. But I want to say that the White House is like a symbol of societal government. You look at that, like the playing field in Quidditch in the Harry Potter franchise, the whole school that they were at, Hogwarts, that's like the White House. But you also have other houses that don't get talked about in this real world. Like there's two other houses, just like there are colors in the flag. There's not only a white house, there's a red house and there's a blue house. Look it up for yourself. There is a red house and a blue house, and they're just as important as the White House. The red and the red house and the blue house symbolize the duality, the fire and ice struggle, the chemistry, the necessary components that will cause a chain reaction of events, mythos, pathos, godhood, being a historical figure, making history. This battle between fire and ice, between red and blue, forges white. So it's letting you know that the governing of society, what we will call the White House, that's really an allegory for the community of souls. And in that, you have the search for the golden snitch. You have the seekers. While a game is being played where all the players fly. They fly. Yes, it's no coincidence that all the rappers in the after 2005 started talking about sticks. They got this stick with them. They rolling around, they riding around with sticks because they're playing Quidditch without knowing it. And just like there's a real, authentic version of the magical bird, the golden snidget, and just like there's a golden snitch in the game, there's also a fake version for those who don't know, and these turn into bear traps for your feet. So you got real snitching and real snitches that go on in the entertainment industry and in the streets, where you got snitches with strong repercussive events that go on around the snitch, because those seekers just might simply be somebody from another block, the person's family, some rival in turf. You got different seekers in different lanes and different pictures inside of different frames. That is the game of Quidditch. And then Quidditch, what do you have? People quit. It's Quidditch. A lot of people quit because a lot of people you can't fly forever, I guess. And the speeds are too high to deal with. The speeds of flight in this age, how flighty things are, how wild the information is. Do you know that there's information going on now out there that's saying that there's a mothership surrounding this planet? I've been sensing some kind of mothership styled cloud formations for a couple of years too, but they're starting to report it in certain sectors that there's a mothership. A mothership, a real mothership, for those that's 50 and up, is real Parliament Funkadelic, George Clinton, Atomic Dog, mothership. All of you star seeds and Galactic Federation people, people are saying, coverage is going out saying this is a mothership. There's a mothership out there. So for the sake of mothership, now you got the opening of Akash. It's like finding the golden snitch. It's like finding the common thread. It's like that part where Christ says, my spirit, he said, well, I'll go and the spirit will come and lead you into all truth. This is the spirit, the energy, the life force, the psyche that leads you into all truth. So what is it telling you? That there's truth everywhere? But this is a golden snitch that you're grabbing because it's only allowed to the seekers. And you got Slytherin and Gryffindor both looking at the seekers, looking at their gloves. As seekers get elected, so they already looked at as special for being seekers. AI is looking for seekers. The occult, AI agents, and occultists themselves, coming from both the bird and the snake, both the eagle and the cobra, are traveling in this fourth dimensional AI interface as both real people and androids to recruit the golden child, because the golden child is the spirit that exists in man and is also known as the golden ray. If you know any illuminist, ask them about it. If you know anything about illuminism, the golden ray is a very real thing that not even the school of illuminism has their hands fully on yet in terms of grasping. But you can intuitively perceive how the golden ray energy has to play out, because we're boxed in an existential corner now where we can do nothing but witness the golden ray energy as it suddenly dawns on us. It's like a game. It's like a game of Quidditch. We're all flying around, thoughts flying around, thought forms flying around. Literally in analogous airtime and airtime. You're flying in this game and you're flying in this game, just like they're flying in that game. They're flying around in Quidditch. The seeker has to fly around also. So if you're on the internet and you use the internet, you're flying around because you're in the air. You're in what is known as the clouds. And he will be seen coming on the clouds. The clouds. Not just sky, technology. You can be deceived by the sky stuff. You could look up in the sky and they got enough technology to make a man form appear out of the sky. It's real easy. Have you seen Starlink? It's probably even easier to send a man-shaped figure into the sky versus a chain of lights, probes. Thousands of probes being sent into outer space. It's probably easier to erect an image. So you got to take this into multiple dimensions when you break it down, so that just in case you don't see it one way, the story ain't over. You were still able to live out your truth. You were still able to live out what you originally came in believing. But now as life went on, your logic and your faith started to work together, and you were able to make sense of it and gain true direction from it and get true fulfillment out of it. Not making your religions into novels, but into manuals for instructions. Operating a vehicle. Vehicles got manuals. So a Merkaba has a manual. There's instructions for this vehicle of light that you carry around your body that radiates from within your body. So that's the golden snitch. The golden snitch is attached to the golden child. So for all of those who are golden children, get the irony that we're in a world now where the only effective people are the ones without gloves, the ones who are willing to really handle life, who are really willing to be their authentic selves. They're not handling life with gloves. They're not afraid to touch. They're not afraid to be tangible. They're not afraid to be personable. They're not afraid to be known. They're not afraid to be real. They're not afraid to be themselves. They're not afraid to be imperfect. These seekers don't have gloves. The authentic seekers, the true seekers, the seekers that don't have intentions to put others down, those seekers, they don't need gloves when they go to put their hands on Akash. They can imprint their memories onto the golden snitch, onto the golden bird. They can put their hands on it. What did the gospel say in the opening of John's gospel? Our hands have handled the word of life. We didn't have gloves. Our hands have handled the word, the communication that leads to the furtherance of life. From whatever kind of side of the pole you're coming in on. It's still like a game of Quidditch. And we're all in the White House. The whole planet is a corporation. It's one big corporation. That's the big bombshell. It's one big corporation. The whole planet. Probably even beyond that. It's probably all just one big company. And then that you got presidents and all of that kind of stuff. But just like in the very, very smaller microcosm of this, you got an entrepreneurial side too. So even on the galactic level, you got rogues. You got sigmas. You got people that's rolling solo. You got your Ryus out of Street Fighter. You got your Book of Eli. Where you headed? Headed west. You know what I mean? Which direction is west? Where is west headed? If you want to connect the Book of Eli to this, he was headed to the place of the fallen angels. Eli carrying the Bible, carrying the word, right? A blind man. Right? Not using physical sight, letting you know that in the mind's eye, we were headed to the age of occult. He was headed toward Los Angeles in a time where a bomb dropped. The movies is putting it right in your face. You still waiting for events. Don't wait for events. Look at the movies and read between the lines. The movies is telling you that the stuff is happening right in your face. You still waiting for stuff. That's why Jesus was like, yo, only a wicked and adulterous generation would still go around here seeking after signs. When it's right in your face, it ain't nothing wrong with the signs. It's just that you going around looking for something that's right in front of your face. It's right there. You just got to accept the truth. Because that's a golden snitch. That's putting your hands on a golden snitch, you understand? So the seekers are being sought after. Your recruitment process is based on your search results. They are seeking for what type of seeker you are. The type of seeker you are will determine what the seekers are looking for. So again, this is Super T Sigma with Sigma Programming. Over here, reaching is teaching. I thank you for your time and attention. I appreciate your support, your comments, your love. And in the meantime, Continue to vibrate high, people. Peace.